Okay, joining me live right here for this next round and our final round before we have our quick intermission is Jordan the Breeze Briones. Jordan, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, Scott. Thanks.
Awesome, man. So we got this next matchup. This is the last doubles match before we take our 30-minute intermission. And you've got Team East, which is Lucy Kitcher and Jonny Pickleball, also known as Jonathan Andrews. And you've got Rob Davidson and Machelle Esquivel.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this match, mixed doubles.
Our referee is Jack.
Rob and Machelle representing the East. No, West.
No, they didn't want to be confused with Team East and Team West. Did you see that right there?
Yeah.
So we came off a big win for Team East on the singles.
Kitcher representing the East.
And that was a good momentum swing for Team East because at that point they were already down 3 wins to nothing. And so that was a big win. We're going to see if Team East can make some adjustments and keep rolling, or if Team West is going to come out and get another W.
Yeah, it's 3-1 right now, right?
It's 3-1.
Okay.
Team West.
Cool.
So talk to us about Team West real quick. You're obviously representing Team West. You're from California.
Yep, I'm from California. I got Machelle Esquivel over there. She's from, I think, Oregon, right, or something like that.
She's from California, living in Oregon.
Oregon, okay, yeah. So she's a really great player, one of the top women's. And we got Rob Davidson over there. He's also a really great player. And, yeah, I've got to know both of them pretty well. So they're really great people.
Absolutely. On Team East, you've got Jonny Pickleball, who is the local pickleball pro here at this facility, in the green head shirt. He's sponsored with Head Pickleball. And you've got Lucy Kitcher, who's out of England originally, from England but living in Florida. She runs 0-0 Stay pickleball trips, and also she runs pickleball tournaments regularly down in Florida. Right, so here early, we've got a 1-0 lead for Team West.
Yeah, I think the strategy for Team West, they're going to come out pretty strong. They look like they're going for a little bit more risk in the beginning. I kind of like that. Machelle does like to push the pace.
Yeah, she doesn't wait around really to see how much dinking can go on, does she?
Well, if she has to, she definitely has all the shots. So if she needs to dink, she'll do that. But she definitely has a really good speed up on her.
Absolutely.
On her balls, yeah.
For sure.
0-1.
So Jonny is a very aggressive player as well. So you're going to see Jonny try to.
Yeah.
Point. One, two. Slide out. One.
It looks like
Second
between the
serve.
last women's doubles that Machelle and Lucy battled it out, it looks like Lucy's got a different game plan.
1-1-2.
She's looking to get out of the way of some of those hard shots where before she was actually hitting those out balls.
Yeah, I think she knows Michelle's tendencies a little bit, and I think she's trying to be a little bit more patient, which is really good.
2-1-2.
And again, let's talk about the clock issue. I think this format is phenomenal. I love it. It's a little different. It brings a different
Slide out.
dynamic. But at the same time, if you're more of a conservative player and you don't get the advantage
1,
down
2,
the stretch,
1.
it can play against you big time. It can work against you.
Yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic. I was talking to some of my
Point.
teammates today, and it really does put a lot of pressure on you.
2-2-1.
And it's definitely a whole different dynamic than a regular.
Yeah, if you're losing down the stretch under, say, 3 minutes, you're going to feel a sense of urgency to have to maybe implement a different type of game plan, a more aggressive
3,
game
2, 1.
And that's not everybody's style, you know? So it is interesting to see the pros adjust to this type of format. And pros are just that, right, Jordan? I mean, pros should be able to adapt and
Second
overcome
server.
adjust to any circumstances that they're faced with.
Oh yeah, definitely agree. It's a really
3,
good
2,
event, and I'm
2.
excited to be part of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very cool. Ball hit wide. So,
Point.
again, early, some of the tendencies that I'm seeing right now is that Jonny is going to try to get his paddle on every ball that he can and rip it.
4,
Look for some
2,
opportunities
2.
to attack and close the gap and put some balls away. So that's what it looks like. See how he's crowding that middle? So
There you
loose.
see, you
Slide
see
out.
Rob go all the way across the kitchen. No, that was a good poach.
That was a great poach, wasn't it? And Rob's got that lean.
2,
that
4,
athleticism.
1.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Rob Davidson is either 39 or 40. I think he's sneaking up on 40. I'm not sure. I don't want to quote that, but he's an amazing athlete.
Yes.
Amazing athlete. Ooh,
Great lob.
that was good discipline not to overhit there.
Wow, really great rally here.
Oh, that ball was hit out. That ball was hit out.
Point.
So Rob got a little overzealous on that one because she was able to get that first one back.
Yeah, you know what? It just shows you what good defense could do, to your opponents.
Absolutely.
3, 4,
we were talking
1.
about it earlier when actually it happened
was
to
that out?
Rob also in the earlier game in singles.
Second server.
He tried to overhit one against Frank Anthony after Frank got the first one back. And I think the
2,
reason
4,
is because at
2.
the pro level, everybody's so skilled, you do have to put a little extra on it. Like, you can't just hit average shots at this level.
Yeah, you gotta take your chances when you can.
Point.
And also, they're playing with the Franklin ball, and it's a little bit softer than the
3,
Durabas
4,
40,
2.
which most players play with. So
Yeah,
I
talk
think
about
it
that a
changed.
little.
Yeah, I think the slower balls, a little bit softer, so that you're gonna see more rallies,
Point.
and more balls in play.
Does that ball being a little softer, maybe playing a little slower, does
4,
that
4,
lean,
2.
lean itself to the a more defensive conservative player or the more aggressive player?
I think it does. I think it leans a little bit more into the players who are more conservative.
Side out.
The ball won't bounce as high, obviously. So, and so it's definitely going to lean towards the
4, 4,
want to keep
1.
the rallies going a little longer.
Absolutely. That's great insight there, and I'm glad you brought the ball up because a lot of people watching may not even realize what ball we're using. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. Notice how Jonny can track the ball really well. Johnny's very active on this.
Second server.
He bounces around a lot. That's kind of his style. Another unique thing that you'll see him do, Jordan,
4,
is
4,
when he's in
2.
a dink battle, he takes his non-dominant hand, his left hand, and he'll put it on his left hip. And if you watch it, it's very
Point.
unique and different than what I've seen from other players. I don't know exactly either who
5,
taught him that
4,
or if that's
2.
just what he does, but you can notice it. It's very noticeable when he's dinking.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Have you noticed that he's been
Side
doing
out.
that?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
So if you'll pay attention over the next few points, you'll see if he gets into some dink rallies, he just settles
4,
his left
5,
hand down
1.
onto his hip right there. And I'm not really sure. I've never asked him if that's something that he does out of habit or if it's strategy. Maybe it helps with balance. See how he's placing it on his left hip there?
Yep. It's really
See
good
that?
rally here.
Ooh,
Point.
Jonny coming up a little short on that
Yeah,
one.
just a little error to the net, but that was a really good exchange. Ball movement around the non-volley zone. That was really-
Absolutely.
5, 5,
Like all four
1.
players showing a really good discipline on that point.
Point. 6, 5, 1.
Got a close match here early. We're coming up on 12-minute marks, so keep in mind, everybody that's watching, we are on a time limit. So it's a 20-minute match.
7,
Doesn't matter what
5,
the score
1.
is. It's the team that's ahead at the end of the 20 minutes. That's the winner.
Yes, and if you're tied at the 20 minutes, it's the team who scores the next point.
The next point. That's correct.
Point.
Not their next rally, right?
Yes,
To be clear on that.
Next point, so you have to be serving and win a point.
8, 5,
And I will give
1.
Jordan credit for that. When we discussed it earlier, he said that he thought that was the best way to go about it, and I do agree with that.
Point.
I think Johnny's just pushing a little bit right now. He needs to maybe settle in a little bit, take his time.
Yep.
Sometimes when the gap separates, it was 5-5, the gap gets a little
9, 5, 1.
As a player, you feel like you need to do something special. But in reality, what's the best plan when you get down just a little bit?
Well, the best plan, you want
Point.
to take your shots when they're there, but definitely you want to try to be conservative and play the smart shots. But I think the thing is too, he's also looking at the
10, 5, 1.
It does put a lot of pressure on you. I mean, there's still 11 minutes left with this, which is a lot of time. So
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a mental thing more than anything, right? So like, even though that he
Second
knows
serve.
Lucian and Johnny know that they have 11 minutes.
10,
subconsciously,
5, 2.
they also know that they're down. So they're going to be trying to push a little bit more.
Slide out.
For a kind of a nonchalant backhand around the post. And keep in mind, guys, the
5, 10,
gap between
1.
the outside post and the wall on that side plus the referee is very slim.
Yeah, it's probably about a few feet. That's all you get over there on that side.
Just a few feet. Very difficult.
Great lob.
He missed that wide. He did hook that ball just a little bit, it looked like.
Call was out.
Either way, the call was out.
I did not see it. Point.
The reason the ref says he didn't see that is because he's watching
6,
feet.
10,
okay, so
1.
he's kind of watching some other things. He's not necessarily watching where the ball lands. There's the
Point.
aggressive. Johnny's nickname is Jonny Pickleball, by the way. I don't know if people know that. He goes from Jonny Pickleball to Jonny Pitbull during a match.
Oh, okay.
10 minutes. Switch sides.
Switch here at the 10-minute mark, and they're going to switch sides and resume play for the other remaining time.
Absolutely. Real quick, since we got this quick break, you've got your shirt right now that says Primetime Pickleball. For anybody watching that's maybe new to pickleball or maybe hasn't been on YouTube a whole lot, talk about real quickly during this break about Primetime.
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder of Primetime Pickleball. I do with
Yes.
my business partner, Nicole Howe.
Both teams ready?
And, we basically make
7,
videos,
10,
pickleball
1.
videos which will help any player better their game. So
Point.
on YouTube, just check us out, and yeah, we really love for you
8,
to see
10,
our
1.
stuff.
Awesome. I believe you guys are coming up on 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we
in that
actually just passed that about a month ago. So,
Okay, there you go.
yeah.
Ooh, I like how Rob, with his length,
Second
he
serve.
was able to straddle the corner of the kitchen and
Yeah.
avoid being having a fault called.
Yeah, it's
8,
kinda like a
10,
half Ernie,
2.
you know?
A half Ernie, I like that. Very impressive. And it may look easy
Side
to
out.
do a shot like that when you watch it, but to be honest, having to figure out where your feet are and make sure you
10,
still can hit
8,
the ball,
1.
that's a very difficult shot.
Yeah, these players like Rob, very experienced. They always know where the non-volley zone is. I think that's what separates the really good players from other ones. They always know
Point.
where the kitchen is.
They're always aware of their surroundings, in other words. Yeah, definitely.
Eleven, 8, 1.
Really good reset there by Lucy.
Yeah, I think
everybody-
Lucy's made some adjustments after playing Machelle that first time. Because she looked a little bit
Point.
shell-shocked on that first time when Lindsay and Machelle were basically bringing pace over and over to her. She looks a little more prepared
12,
for
8,
that now.
1.
Yeah, and I think obviously mixed doubles is a lot different dynamic than women's doubles. So you'll see a little bit different strategies as we watch this mixed doubles match.
For sure, and I think that's the beautiful part about pickleball is that you have the same players, but you're playing different formats, different styles, and it
Point.
kind of play out differently on the court.
Definitely.
13, 8, 1.
That
Point.
ball returned long by Jonathan Andrews.
14, 8, 1.
We're just under the 7-minute mark now.
Little
Second
long
server.
wide there by Rob.
All 4 players are sponsored players. You've got
14,
Rob is
8,
sponsored with
2.
Temper, TMPR. You've got Machelle in the pink on this side is with Engage Pickleball. You've got Jonny Pickleball in the green is sponsored with Head
Side
Pickleball.
out.
And you've got Lucy Kitcher who's with Gamma Pickleball.
Yeah, so
8,
four different paddle
14,
companies.
1.
That's awesome. I love to see that. 8-14, guys. Let's see if they can get something going here. Again, there goes Rob straddling that kitchen,
Point.
giving himself just a slight bit of edge, getting just a little closer to that net.
9, 14, 1.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time on the clock here, so.
Oh, certainly this is something that can end. That ball
Point.
actually stayed in.
Yeah, it just ticked the net.
And you're going to see Jonny. Jonny is an emotional type player. What I mean is he feeds off his off the
10,
energy.
14, 1.
So as they start to create a little momentum, you're going to see him start bouncing around. His shots are going to be a little crisper, and you're going to see him be a little more aggressive.
Second server. 10, 14, 2.
They're closing the gap slowly here. Ooh. Okay, see, sometimes talk about momentum in pickleball. It swings fast, does it not?
Wow. I think, I mean, there's a lot of sports out there, but pickleball.
11,
definitely
14,
momentum is
2.
Huge. And in any game you're playing, you could definitely shift, and then you got to get on a roll. And we'll see what happens if they're going to start using their timeouts.
That I was just about to say. Not a lot of the teams are utilizing timeouts all that much right now.
Point.
Maybe that's just because we're inside. They're not using as much energy or exerting as much energy. If we were outside,
12,
they might be
14,
using those
2.
timeouts a little more. But I think from a strategy standpoint, it's a good idea to stop the momentum sometimes.
Yeah,
Side
it
out.
gets a little tricky, with the time as it's winding down. 4:40 here, 4 minutes left. The
14,
timeouts,
12,
that
1.
cuts your time down. So depending on what team you are,
You might use one if it's above the 2-minute mark.
yes.
The policy with this format is that you are not allowed to use your timeouts under 2 minutes. Okay, see?
Second
Again,
server.
Some of the momentum has shifted a little bit. Early, Team West was taking
14,
a big
12,
lead,
2.
and all of a sudden now it's a different ball game. It's a lot closer.
I think Lucy and Jonny are doing a good job of trying to keep the ball down and let him play a little bit more.
Point.
Absolutely. Well, and this is what I was talking about earlier with you. Lucy's not known to be an aggressive
15,
style of
12, 2.
So if they're down under 4 minutes, they're going to start feeling a sense of urgency to speed it up. And that's not necessarily what Lucy's comfortable doing. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. What a shot right there. Jordan, did you just
Side out.
I just witnessed
Yeah,
right
that
there?
was a great
My goodness.
backhand around the post. Great
What an
shot.
athletic play by Jonny Pickleball right there. This is his home court, so maybe he just has that
12,
sense.
15, 1.
He shot out hard and just hit that really, really smooth around the net there.
Second
Crowd
server.
a little bit of, let down there, but
I think after one of those
12,
shots,
15,
you kinda start
2.
feeling it,
For sure.
and you could see how he felt pumped and he wants to go for that win.
absolutely. It's like in the NBA or in basketball when you hit a couple threes, it's a heat check. It's a heat check, See, Johnny's not going to wait around the dink. There you go. Let's go. There, see, Machelle sees
Point.
what's going on now. She sees what's going on.
So it's really interesting. We're on the just under 3 minute mark.
13, 15,
Johnny
2.
and Lucy are just 2 points behind. So we'll
And
see
again,
what happens.
if you're the team that's up just above 2 minutes, I think it would be
Side
a
out.
strategy to burn a timeout. But
Maybe,
they're
yeah.
not utilizing that right now.
15,
Now they're
13,
up now with the ball
1.
at the side out, so let's see how this plays out here. There's still a lot of time left.
Yes.
What you're probably not going to see, unless the ball's up, is Machelle and Rob speeding the ball up for no reason.
Really great point here.
Okay, there you go.
Point.
So I was wrong. Machelle chose to speed the ball up below the net, but she's confident in her
Yeah.
game.
Well, you know what?
16,
Machelle
13,
sees
1.
her opportunity. She's definitely going to take it.
She takes it.
You know?
She's not going to hold back and play conservative. I can respect
Point.
that. Honestly, I really respect that. It's playing to win versus playing not to
17,
lose.
13, 1.
Here we go. We're right under the 2-minute mark, so there's no timeouts allowed for the rest of the match here.
You may not know this, but you and I get the
Point.
timeouts. We get to take the timeouts for them. We can put them in our pocket. We can take them home with us. But the players are not allowed to use them.
18, 13, 1.
Again, this is where I feel like the time really starts to play a factor in the mindset of the team that's down.
Second server.
Yes. Yeah, and it's really tough. See, you're down by 5 points, and you want to
18,
but you
13,
you
2.
know you have points to make up. So it's a really
It's a fine line, isn't it? It's a delicate balance between aggressive style of play to try to get the ball back or trying to push too hard.
Slide out.
nice shot here. Now they have just under a minute to try to tie it up. So it's going
13,
to be tough
18,
to do. We'll see
1.
what happens.
It's only down 5, Jordan. This is doable. Oh, if I was
Second
Lucy, I
server.
might have taken my chances on letting that go. I don't know.
Yeah, and as you can see, Johnny's trying to speed that up. He knows he doesn't have a lot of time, so he's trying to go
13,
for the-
18, 2.
For sure. He wants to end those quick. Okay, there's a point. There's only 8 seconds, though. I think mathematically right now it's over.
14,
I don't think they can do
18,
anything.
2.
But you know, that's the great thing about these competitors. They're not going to stop playing. They're not going to give up.
Out. Point.
That's a great game. Great game right there. Jordan, I appreciate you so much, man. That's going to bring us to our 30-minute intermission.
Okay,
You
cool.
saved the best for last,
Hey,
man. All right, guys. Congratulations on that big win right there. This was the last match right before the 30-minute intermission. So Team West came out on top. I believe right now 4-1. Team West. All right, so talk to us about that matchup. I mean, Jonny Pickleball is very aggressive. Lucy's more of a conservative player. So that matchup was interesting to see.
Yeah, it was, and it was our first time playing together ever. So it was just fun, and I've never seen Jonny Pickleball play, so that was fun too. So it was just like, you know, you have to really pick and choose your shots.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and so that's I think what we did, and we had fun, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You know, they're kind of very different strategies. Like Johnny's explosive, and Lucy is very much neutralized. So it's kind of interesting to see how they played together. You know, I kind of felt like we were kind of in control the whole time. So I felt good and confident.
Yeah.
And that's really what helps win matches.
Yeah.
Sure. Congratulations, guys. I really enjoyed watching that one. All right, thanks, guys. All right, we've got Jonathan Andrews and Lucy Kitcher coming up next for us. Hey, guys. Y'all step in here. This is what I love about pickleball. We're all sweating. Well, I'm not sweating, but you guys are coming off the court sweating. Thank you guys for taking the time. Talk to us real quick about, that was the last matchup before our intermission. Talk to us about this format with the time. How does that play into the end of the game? Because you guys were close. Y'all were going back and forth at that game.
Yeah, it was a close one. I mean, the time, you definitely look at it. I mean, I'm sure when people watch the live stream, you see everybody looking at it a little bit, you know, whether we call a timeout. I was actually hoping the whole time, because when we were making our runs, I'm like, please don't call a timeout.
Yeah.
I was hoping they wouldn't do that.
I was waiting for the 2 minutes to get to the 2 minutes to hope that they didn't take a timeout when they still could.
Yeah, me and Jordan were very shocked that they didn't actually use
Yeah.
those timeouts. They didn't burn them. But you know what? It's all about what they're feeling. Maybe they were feeling that momentum,
Yeah.
didn't want to burn that timeout, but
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we made a couple good runs.
you did.
It was a really great game. That was the most fun I've had
For sure.
for a
And I
long
felt
time.
like you made some good adjustments between the last game that you played and this one as far as being able to be more ready for those attacks.
So actually, it's more because mixed is a totally different game
Agreed.
to women's. Although the same opponent, right? We still played against Machelle, but it just, you know, the woman really has a different role. And actually, we ended up, Rob was kind of hitting softer, so they actually ended up reverse stacking with Machelle on the left, you know,
I
because
noticed
she
that.
was the one hitting hard.
Right, we
so-
switched it up a little bit and
Yeah.
said, you know, we're just going to go.
They figured
at
out what we
softer.
did.
Someone who's not attackable,
Yeah.
but then they made their adjustment.
Yeah.
So we were just trying different things a little bit at the same time. So me poaching in front to hit at Machelle when I knew the ball was coming, just take a gamble.
That was intense. We loved it. As viewers, we love that kind of game.
It was a lot of fun being able to hit at Rob. You know?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he said hit at Rob, I was really,
Yeah.
I'm allowed to hit to the guy.
That's
This is
awesome.
great.
I love it. Thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck with Team East for the rest of the event. Thanks again, guys.